And last of all, not only to preach the truth, not only to communicate the gospel clearly, but to make disciples in the context where people are. And this is huge, I think, for the global youth culture, because a lot of time we go and we preach, and then the next thing we say is, come to my church on Sunday. That's the next step. But most of these guys and girls are going to go, I'm sorry, it's cool what you're saying. It's interesting, I want to hear more, but I'm not going to go to your church. It's not for me, I don't fit in. And if they do come, sometimes they'll come and feel out of place and they don't come again. So this is a real issue we need to address. I don't think we've really answered that well in our context and our time yet. But I think that it needs to start with discipleship where people are. When I look at the way Jesus made disciples, he was with them in their place, in their context, and teaching them through day-to-day situations they were in. He was eating with them, walking the streets with them, in the synagogues with them, by the sea with them, and teaching and using situations and questions to disciple. I think we need to be doing that a lot more today. We need to be in the global youth culture and helping people today understand what it means to follow Jesus in their context. So what does it mean for a designer in New York to be a designer in New York who follows Jesus? And what does it mean for a lawyer in London to be a lawyer in London who follows Jesus? This is, I think, the essence of what Paul meant in 1 Corinthians 9, where he says, I become all things to all men. And he's talking about the Greek culture there, and he's saying, he says, I'll be a Jew for the Jews, I'll be a weak for the weak. And what does he mean by that? I don't think he means he's pretending to be somebody he's not. I don't think he's trying to put on a costume or to look like somebody he's not. And he's also not losing his values or his identity in Jesus as he does that. What he's doing is he's living closely enough with people where he understands their questions and their issues. And then he models to them what it would look like for them to follow Jesus. So he lived so closely with the Greek people that he could show a Greek person what it would look like for a Greek person to follow Jesus. And he realized that it would look different for a Greek person to follow Jesus than for a Jewish person to follow Jesus. And today I need to look and say, well, what does it mean for my mates back in Sao Paulo who have a hardcore band? What does it look like for the hardcore band in Sao Paulo to meet Jesus and to follow Jesus? Well, I need to walk alongside them long enough and to show them through my own life and my own example what it means to follow Jesus today, so that they can identify and say, all right, that I can also do that. I can follow Jesus. And then they become part of the community of the church. But for the best reason, not because they're being entertained in the church, not because the music's their style and they're going to come along, but because they realize that there is truth in who Jesus is. They've already started a walk with him. They're already being discipled in their own places and situations. And then they're learning what church really is. Community, people of all different backgrounds, different ages, different social contexts coming together with one faith and one baptism. And then they're saying, I need to be part of that because I follow Jesus. So what can I do? How can I come and serve? So I love it when I see a young person from the Global Youth Culture coming into the church, because they're saying, what can I do here? How can I serve? What's my part? I'm following Jesus. And so I'm going to be part of this community. And that's the right reason to come, not because they're being entertained.